Hello all, my name is Shan Singh and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is the fourth tutorial of the statistics playlist where we will learn one of the core concepts of the statistics, which are sample and population. So let's learn what those concepts are. So now let's understand what a population and sample is. So imagine we have a task, let's say, where we have to actually estimate, right? We have to actually estimate what is a average human height, right? What is the average human height? So one thing you will notice that, see, we have a population roughly around 7 billion till date. So if I have to compute the average height, right? So if I have to compute the average height of 7 billion people, let me term it as a mu. Oftentimes this is term, the mean of the population is termed as mu. I will say I will do a sum of all the height of people in the world. For this I have to use a summation, right? I will say I have all the height and let me divide it by 7 billion value, so that we will actually have a average value. But one thing you will notice that measuring height of the 7 billion people is not possible, right? It is not impractical, right? It is not practical. So all I will do is I will say, imagine this is a whole sample, right? This is all we have is we have the 7 billion people, let's say, in the whole world. So since we can't measure every height, let me extract a sample, right? Let's say, okay, this sample should be random in nature. That's why it is termed as a random sample. So I can say, let me consider a size of, let's say, 10,000. So if I will compute the average height now, from the sample that I have extracted, I can say I have to use a simple formula, right? The way we have used in context of population, it is as simple as that. Let's say I have sample size of 1000. I can think of using 1000 heights, and see, it is a random sample. It means I have collected or I have extracted people in a random way. That's why it is termed as a random sample. So imagine these are all the randomly selected people we have. So as soon as I will compute the average height of the sample, it is often termed as a h bar. See, sometimes or oftentimes the sample mean is termed as a or they are denoted using x bar or h bar, right? Which is all about a mean of a sample. Okay, so this sounds interesting. Okay, so let's understand a couple more things. See, if the sample size we have extracted, if it is a large enough or if it is a fairly large, we can say that the sample mean will get converged towards the population mean, right? So let's say if this is a whole population we have, right? This is a whole population we have, and for this population I have some mean, let me term it as a mu, and let's say for this sample I have some mean, right? Let's say x bar. Since this is a fairly large sample, I can say that our x bar will be approximately equals to a population mean, which is mu. Okay, so now let's try to understand the simple definition of population. See, population in a nutshell is all about a set of all the events or a set of all the observations, right? Or you can say universe of all things or universe of everything. Whereas on the other hand, if I have to explain what the sample is, I can say sample is actually a subset of population, right? It is actually a subset of population that you have extracted just to estimate something or just to statistic something. In this case, the estimate or the statistics is actually a height of a pupil, right? Okay, so let's talk about the factors that we have to consider while extracting samples. See, we have to be very careful while extracting sample, else we will end up getting some improper conclusion. So you have to be extremely careful with that. See, the first factor could be regarding sample size. So the sample size that you are going to extract from the population, it should be large enough so that you can actually make, okay, it should be sufficient, right? Or you can say a large enough so that you can actually make inferences from the data, right? inferences from the data, or inferences about the population from a sample you have, right? The second could be, it should be random, right? All it means is that it should not be biased. It means the sample should be unbiased. So if let's say this is the whole population we have, right? So let's say if I'm going to extract data of, let's say, one country, right? And okay, so let's try to consider this word map just to explain you things better. So if I will consider data of only one country, right? Let's say from Europe, from Africa, from various other continents, right? You will end up having some improper conclusion. So the optimal way is that you have to consider people from every region, from every continent, and from every corner of the globe. The third should be, it should be representative, right? It means we have to consider people, right? We have to consider people from every region and from every corner or from every country of the world. So that's the whole idea about population and sample in simplest possible way. For those of you who have any doubt, please share in the comment section. That's all about it, and I would love to share all the queries you have. So that's all about it. Take care and bye bye.